Week 2 of the college football season is upon us. We are so excited. We are so hyped. No time for none of the nonsense. Let's go. All right, y'all. Let's jump right into it. Week 1 college football ratings are out, and it's unbelievable. If we look at FSU, LSU, they led the charge in the number 1 position with 9 million viewers, over 9 million. And this is one of the reasons why FSU should be in a Power 2 conference, right? Because the viewership and what they bring is just elite. When they play elite players, I mean, they have over 4 million views. And not many teams can say that, right? TCU, Colorado, the work and what Coach Prime has brought to Colorado is just unbelievable. The fact that they won is just outstanding. If I look at these ratings, it is disappointing that North Carolina and South Carolina did not crack the 4 million mark, right? That's kind of, we go back and we look at another disappointing rating is Florida, Utah. They didn't crack the 4 million mark. So yeah, 3 million is great. And don't get me wrong, this is outstanding, but I was expecting a little bit more in terms of viewership, but at the same time, Florida doesn't have an elite quarterback or running back or any elite player to really speak of. So I guess if I look at it from that standpoint, it is really good. The biggest surprise is Oregon State and San Jose State cracked over 3 million, 3.23. So they talk a lot of smack about Oregon State and what they bring to the table, San Jose State, what they bring to the table. But if you get 3 million views on, that is pretty outstanding, right? West Virginia, Penn State did not crack that number, so that's kind of big shocker. If we look at Boise State and Washington, 1.97 million viewers. That's not a good look, right? You would expect more in terms of week 1, right? Louisville, Georgia Tech, 1.65. Those are big time disappointing numbers. Auburn, only 1 million. Even though they're playing UMass, this is supposed to be Auburn. So you would expect a little bit bigger ratings. Texas A&M, New Mexico, 794,000. You'd expect a little bit more. So I just wanted to share some of those ratings. Colorado, over 7 million. Whoa. FSU, LSU, whoa. I know it's a Sunday night, so it wasn't as many games, but they delivered in terms of viewership, and that's generally what you want to see. All right, let's push forward in terms of biggest embarrassments of the week. I thought this was pretty cool itself. So shut down the program embarrassment. Clemson, BYU. Yeah, that was, those losses were pretty embarrassing. Clemson looked bad, right? And that's what separates what Clemson looked like versus what University of Florida, TSU looked like, right? It was bad that they lost. It was. But they didn't lose to like horrible teams, TCU or Florida, right? I take umbrage with what they talk about LSU. LSU did not play as bad as people are saying. They hung in tough with FSU for a long parts of that game, and FSU looks elite. So I'm not down on LSU like many people are. I think it's a bit unfair. I would say Nebraska was more embarrassing. Carolina was more embarrassing because they couldn't block anybody. So that was wild. Very much wild. And we're used to Ohio State throttling people, and they didn't really look up to snuff. So it's a big coming back. Ohio State has a lot to prove. A whole lot to prove. And Arizona State and Jaden Rashada. We talked about Jaden Rashada. He should have went to Florida. They should have paid the money. He would have been a lot better at Florida. Oh my God. He looked outstanding. Of course, he made some mistakes. He's a freshman, but man, some of those balls he was throwing, he was able to sit in the pocket and make some big time throws. So super impressed. I think that's one Florida fans will come back to regret. I was thinking about doing a broadcast by myself on that. And excuse me, Arkansas State, I know you play Oklahoma, but you still should not be losing, giving up 81 points. There's a lot to be answered for in that moment from that team. So I just want to put that out there. I think that's a very real thing. All right, so let's go to my next slide. All right, game of the week, big time, Nebraska versus Colorado. Week 1, Nebraska, 10 points, 295 yards of offense, 4 turnovers. So you would think if they correct that turnover thing, they look much better. And the defense played well, but obviously they played Minnesota and they did not play a big time offense like Colorado. So this is rivalry week. This is a big game. We're traditionally watching this game on Thursday night, but since Nebraska went to the Big Ten, Colorado went to the Pac-12, and we didn't just see this game as much anymore. So big time matchup, big time game. Matt Rule was already kind of talking some trash about Coach Prime earlier. So there is I think there's going to be a big buildup, and I think Colorado is going to be more than ready to kind of take on this battle. So we have that out there. Clemson eliminated from playoff contention. I was looking for the one that said Florida was eliminated from playoff contention, but Clemson was embarrassing. They have a lot to answer for. Losing to Duke, the way they lost to Duke, they were thoroughly beat. I know Duke was a 9-team win last year, so it's not like Duke isn't the same Duke in the same way, but when you look at the number of 4 stars and 5 stars at Clemson versus the number of 4 stars and 5 stars, I can't think of it in my head, but I think it's like 50 4 stars, over 50 4 and 5 stars at Clemson, and there's almost 3 4 stars, if I'm not mistaken, 3 or 0 at Duke. So this goes to show to me always, I talk about this all the time, even with the University of South Florida or whatever team you have, you don't have to be in a Power 5 conference to compete or to get good players, develop good players, and beat good teams. That's just the long and short of it. So get that out of your head, that teams that only are in the Power 5 probably can win the national championship, but that's not saying they can't compete. So let's just get that straight. I argue for all my Clemson supporters, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe where you stand on this, because Clemson, since 2020 and the George Floyd riots, and even before that, all the racial things started happening in the program and came out against Dabo Swinney, he hasn't been the same player. And the money that Clemson is spending, you telling me you can't find a quarterback? Come on. Most of these teams don't only have one quarterback, and they're spending an elite amount of money. Right? So who are you recruiting? What are you recruiting that you don't have multiple players? You're spending all this money, have all this scholarship available. So I want to put that on the table. All right. So these are our college football week 2 matchups. Texas, Alabama lead the line. Nebraska, Colorado lead the line. I'm going to say I don't trust Texas. I don't trust Ewers. I trust Nick Saban. I trust Alabama. I think Steve Sarkisian is a good coach, or he's proven himself to coach offense. Let me say that. So I'm still going with Alabama in this matchup. I think Alabama by a lot. Obviously, I'm picking Colorado over Nebraska. Something about Matt Rule doesn't sit right with me. Utah will destroy Baylor. It should be embarrassing. I'm predicting they should win by over 30 points. Oregon, Texas Tech. Bo Nix. I'm not really sold on Bo Nix like others are. I'm not. Obviously, I'm not sold on Texas Tech, but I'm curious to see how Bo Nix comes through and can he win the conference? You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not really sold on Bo Nix in the same way. Once again, we've been asking ourselves for over 10, 15 years, is Miami back? Miami is playing Texas A&M. I'm going to say that this is a tough one, right? It's the same thing with Texas A&M. They're in the same ballpark with me of Texas, right? They have some talent over there. They have some elite players. Are they back? I guess Miami, Texas A&M, Texas, big name programs. They get big name recruits, but can they win big games? If I had to guess, I like Miami's defense. I like Texas A&M offense. Do I trust Miami's defense? Offense, no. Do I trust Texas A&M defense? No. But yeah, I might just go. This is a tough one. This is a toss-up to me, but I'm gonna go with Texas A&M. Maybe their offense, maybe a little bit. I don't know. This is a tough one, but I'm going with Texas A&M. Yep. That's it for me. I'm going NC State over Notre Dame. I don't believe in Notre Dame. Now, the big matchup to me and the most interesting, maybe because I'm an American fan, USF plays in the American, is Tulane. Tulane quarterback, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, is good. He was good last year. He came back. He was good this year. When you have a quarterback that can spin it, you can win games. Full stop. And the crowd will be hype for this game because this is a big time statement for Tulane. Tulane beat USC, so can they come back and win another one? I'm going to say yes. Obviously, Iowa was disappointing last week. Iowa State games in Iowa State in Ames, so Ames, Iowa. So I'm going to pick Iowa State just because I'm not a biggest fan of Iowa at this point, but I do recognize this is kind of a toss-up to me. Wisconsin, Washington State, not interested. I ain't gonna lie to you. Auburn, Cal, not interested. Not gonna lie to you. Auburn was kind of disappointing, but we'll see how it goes. Cincinnati and Pitt, traditional rivalry game in other sports, right? They were in the Big East for a while together. Or for a minute. But Pitt's a good team. I like the way they're coached. I like the way they're playing. And that's it. And I don't care about C or Boise State. Later for both those schools. So those are it. That's what I'm looking forward to. So let's move forward to our next position. NFL. Dun, dun, dun. NFL is back. And I guess with this line, these betting lines, I'm going to go make my statement. My Super Bowl prediction off rip, you can't go against Patrick Mahomes until he loses. So I'm going Patrick Mahomes because quarterbacks matter versus Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia is still going to be good. That is my pick. The football games that stand out as a Buccaneer fan, I'm going with the Bucs to beat the Vikings. I really believe in Baker Mayfield. I just do. So that game stands out to me. I look forward to that matchup. And I'm interested to see Jaguars and the Colts, right? How's Anthony Richardson going to do? Is the Jaguars for real? They had a great playoff run. Are they for real? 49ers and Steelers, those are two possible playoff contenders. Are they real? I'm really interested to see how that game plays out, right? I think that's worth the matchup. Cowboys, Giants, traditional matchup. Interested in seeing that. Bills and Jets. Bills keep winning in the regular season. Jets have a new quarterback. Will they be good? I don't know. So I don't know. Their defense may be elite still. Can they have enough offense to get over the top? Maybe so. But they should, be honest with you, with Aaron Rodgers, Garrett Wilson. They have some talent. Yeah. So that's kind of my take on the games that stand out to me. What games stand out to you in the NFL? Let me know in the comments below. And that's it, right? We talked about the betting lines already. I just wanted to share that Colorado is a favorite over Nebraska after week 1. So that kind of stands out to me. So let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm headed out. College football, let's get it. Catch you on the flip. Peace.